Hello there, this is Big Benedict. We're playing God of War Ghost of Sparta on God, very hard difficulty, and this is my no upgrade run plus for the aforementioned title. This is installment 4, installment the 4th. We are in the ice, the mounts of Erinys, and we're dealing with these enemies now. I believe someone was trying to correct me kindly about that. I believe those are Scylla broods. There's also some bugs called cursed wretches. I currently don't have all of the bestiary unlocked because I deleted my profile data, as I mentioned, and I don't have every enemy unlocked like I used to. So I know the basic names of most of the enemies, and it's a tough vantage point right here. So if you want to skip those enemies, I wouldn't blame you. So we're coming up on what was a tough fight originally, and I realized that this time around I'm not going to be having the same struggles on some of the encounters because, I now have the ability to use magic. I can use Thera's Bane. I can use the Arms of Sparta. But trust me, on a lot of the encounters, like for instance, I just finished the Piraeus Lion, and I very sparingly used Thera's Bane, and I did not use any magic. Things like that. I just don't use magic very much. So even though you might think that, Big Benedict's taking the easy route after he failed to do his Pain Plus, just realize that before you say that, make sure you have a No Upgrade Run Plus on your own channel or some link where you did it before you start saying that type of shit, because it's not easy. It's easier than Pain Plus, obviously. Interestingly, on these bugs, you can use Thera's Bane to ignite a charge in them, and that will send them on their backs, as will parrying their projectiles. So we'll have these bugs here, and a couple of these Cyclopses. They don't go berserk, but you just want to be careful here of things like that. You try to grab something and the guy's right in your way. And once you get the quick time event number 1 of 3 on him, then the second one will spawn. So if you have Thera's Bane, if you're permitting yourself to use it, just ignite a charge in these guys, because it's a fine example of a small arena with too large of enemies and not enough room to roll out of the way a lot of the time. So it's good that you can just manage these guys. So here comes the second one up here. It should be rearing up from the ground presently. So I was kind of thinking to myself, it would kind of be weird, but it would be nice if you can tag enemies. Like, you see this situation here? We've got 2 enemies that are exactly the same, or even have damage bars. That would be the same. And what I meant by tagging enemies is like in what's that game that I covered that I really liked? I was gonna do hardcore mode on Spec Ops. No, not Spec Ops. Was it Spec Ops: The Line? No, it was not Spec Ops: The Line. It was the Splinter Cell-esque games, but it was the one that was in third person that I really enjoyed. And because I need to pull it up in my memory now, I'm getting a blank, so I'm not sure what it was. Oh, it was Ghost Recon Future Soldier. You know the way you can tag things in that. It would just be nice if they didn't have health bars. Just some way of tagging enemies so that you knew which one was which. Maybe somehow. I mean, this sounds like really anti God of War, but just be able to mark an enemy somehow. Maybe hit him in such a way with a special attack so that you sear him and he has some kind of a wound on him, so you know which one is which, so you can focus on that one. I've always thought that was good. And I think I would like to see damage bars over enemies. In the next God of War, you know what I want to see? I want to see every move in the game have a toggleable option, so that if you don't want to use it, and if it's getting in your way, you can just turn it off. It's so easy for them to do that. But these people, it just seems like they never take the time to really fine-tune these games. the way they really should. So that was just one thing I was thinking of. So we'll come down here. I skipped that scene. And so at this point, I'm pretty far into the game, so there's no reason for you to doubt whether I'm going to be completing this guide. I'll complete it. I was actually playing a little bit of The Evil Within. I'm now on chapter 3. But the thing is, I'm weary of playing this game because this is my third successive time playing it, and I'm also just not being able to get into The Evil Within. So, but anyway, I've got my Pig Fest tomorrow, which is my opera program. I call it the Pig Fest. If you don't know the genesis of why it's called that, my brother called it that once for fun, and we were joking about it. And this month is a great month actually for everything good. I mean, we've got a nice horror game that came out. We've got my opera program that's doing the ring cycle. He's doing the four operas from the ring cycle this month. I think there's 5 Saturdays this month. So what he does on the 5th Saturday of each month, the opera host, he will do opera potpourri, meaning that he'll just do random potpourri for 4 hours, which I won't listen to because he talks too much, and sometimes it turns into a begathon with their particular station. But yeah, okay, so we saw the Harpy Widows just there, didn't we? Best thing to do on those guys is to tag them in the air. What they like to do though, when you see them flying off screen in a circular motion, that means they're going to grab you. So you need to parry right when they're coming back on screen. You'll get your parry. You'll avoid getting grabbed, and you can keep harpies alive that way, because there's going to be 4 harpies with the gerons later in the game, and if you can keep just one of the harpies alive, you can potentially, and it's not hard to do, you can potentially keep the fight managed in such a way that you only have to face one geron at a time. Although there's going to be a harpy during the first 2 gerons, and then you could slay the harpy, and then you'll have the final geron to just kill by yourself. If you want to see a brilliant video, there's a video by the Taz1 where he did his pain plus run no damage, just like Shinobier did. And after I had deleted my guide for the second time, and I know that sounds really bad, but like after I did that, I was watching through his videos, and he did like 6 long videos, sort of the way I am, although I'll probably end up with a dozen videos. And he did that fight no damage, although, you know, he did use what some people call the harpy trick, but I don't think it's a trick at all to keep a harpy alive. It's a tactic, man. It's not a trick, because a trick implies you're kind of cheating. But that guy did it. I'm like, I couldn't even do that. I couldn't even survive that fight. This guy did it no damage. So definitely you want to check his channel out. Because he's just got stellar gameplay. And, you know, when you see skill like that, it just instantly brings a smile to your face, because it's just so, you know, the guy playing it is just kind of smiling himself, probably just thinking this game's so fucking easy. You can't help just think to yourself that, and you kind of wish you were that good, you know. But I'm not sure what people might think about a run like this, whether you might regard it as hard or not. Boy, when I get to the final fight in the game with those armored cyclopses in the Carries race, I will be fucking stuck there for hours. I know it. I already know it. Maybe days, because that fight's so goddamn hard. Now here's some Harpy Widows. We don't have to face them. Here's the Boreas Ice Beast. You want to move out of the way right away. And then I am permitting myself to use the Thera's Bane on him. I mean, I feel guilty now using it, but it's the same thing as using the arrows in God of War 3 with a no upgrade run, because you're using you're following the rules about what is commonly accepted by people. And I don't mind using an item meter. If this were the Pain Plus run, I would not, and I wasn't using it. So what you want to do is just avoid this guy's attacks like the second he tries to hit you. The best way to do it is to get right in front of him and make him do an attack and then roll back. He can't hit you. But he gives you ample time to do the super plume like that. See that? If you can keep doing that, just stand right in front of him and bait him into that move, the fight gets really easy. And just take out the shitty lackeys that drop off his back. But I don't understand why they give you so much time here to do your... Like, every time he does an attack, you have so long to counterattack with strong moves. It's ridiculous, but I like it, and we'll be facing him again later in the game. Oh, you might also know that after you do the super plume, sometimes Kratos will do that upward slash. If you rewind it right before I grabbed that guy, Kratos did it. What's happening there, I don't actually like it, but you can prevent it from happening if you do not continue to hold the triangle button. If you continue to hold the triangle button after you do the super plume, which, if you don't know, it's the 6 squares, 3 triangles, then he will do the uppercut, that kind of swing upper-handed attack, and it leads to periods of vulnerability, so you got to be careful about it. I don't like it. I think it was a bad move to put it in the game, because it's kind of like a little finishing move, but it leaves you too vulnerable, and it's not easy to not do it sometimes. Sorry for the double negatives there. So what my mentality here is to not use magic as much, just hardly any. Like the only times you might see me use magic is like on the Gerons, maybe. I mean, the final Gerons, you bet your ass I'll be using magic, but that might be the only time you're going to see me use magic. And also the Demos boss fight, because the Demos boss fight is dog shit. The way that he continues to grab you, 2 grabs, you're dead, and the whole time, you're engaging in a quick time event and you're receiving massive damage. Such bullshit. But I was watching my buddy, the Taz1's video, and he was telling me, well, he wasn't telling me, what am I talking about? It was just in his description. He was saying that he was struggling on these guys. If not these guys per se, then this guy plus the... when we get into Atlantis, there will be a fight with one of these guys, plus about 8 of those shitty Triton assassin lackeys, and then he said that was a point at which he struggled. So, even pros struggle on things that, us who aren't pros will say, well, that's not very tough. And for me, it's not tough at all. Just grab the foes, rend them apart after a couple hits, and then just deal with this guy. Because his attacks are all predictable. But I think on this fight my guard got broken a lot, because I did this right before I had to go to the dentist, and I could proudly say that it wasn't as bad as I thought. She took care about... I had a huge gaping hole in my incisors, and also in one of my front teeth, and I feel so much better. But the nitrous oxide is a fucking joke. Like, it doesn't render you insensible to the pain much, because I'm so tolerant of medication that, like, it made me a little bit drowsy and a little bit relaxed, but I'm going to have to take my own tranquilizers in there next time because it just doesn't do the job. But it is nice. She's an Asian woman and she's a pro. I think I mentioned this on my DMC guide, but you definitely want an Asian dentist because they're a lot more thorough, and being at that they're a woman, they're more sympathetic and careful about what they're doing. And I know I just said a bunch of probably racist and stereotypical things, and that wasn't my intention at all. So okay, where are we going from here? We're going to hit the save point. Going to do a little swimming. And the last time I came through here, I missed a chest over here, so I'm glad I can bring it to you this time. I don't much like the Atlantis section. It's not as hard as Death's Domain, but it still is pretty. I mean, it rivals that. This is the chest that I missed over here. And I don't think I'm going to cover Chains of Olympus directly after this, so you guys, everyone who's, worn out about me playing God of War 3 times straight for 3 guides, you don't have to worry about it because I'm tired of it. So I'll have to come back to Chains of Olympus, and I will. What does that leave for my next project? The Evil Within? Quite possibly. Part of me wanted to just get it over with and do a blind playthrough, but I hate feeling ignorant when I could be imparting great knowledge with, playthroughs. And also, I don't like looking stupid when I don't know how to do stuff because I'm a slow learner, and things that might appear obvious to other people about puzzles, they don't always are obvious to me. So it's that clash between I don't want to look stupid and also I would say more importantly, I don't like listening back to my videos and hearing someone, me, who doesn't know what he's talking about. Knowing that it's hard enough when you think you already know a game, but a game that you're just playing right away, without any context. I mean, it's hard for me to listen back to some of these God of War videos, and for instance, in the beginning of this video, I mentioned that I misnamed one of the bugs, and this guy called me out for it in a polite way. Just things like that. Oh, okay, so we're coming up on the Erinys boss fight. Now, she is pretty tough, and the only reason she's tough is because you can receive massive damage when you're trying to deal with the birds. But I did fairly well, even though by the time I cleared her, my health was very low. But I wasn't aiming for perfection here. All I wanted on the screen was for her to do everything that she does so that I could show you guys everything. And I also I wanted to look, competent. And this time I did not get a 500 hit combo. But I'm going to be using Therisbane to expedite the fight a little bit, because it just takes a very long time. She has so much HP on her first phase. So when things happen, that you need to know, let me see. Does anything happen over here? Like, I think my blades ricochet off that. See that? When your blades ricochet off her, what she does is she throws a ball out, and then she'll summon the birds. Now, that's the worst thing to do. What I just did there, that's the worst thing to do if she's close by, because when you try to block again, she will hit you, and it takes off a large chunk of your health. So, the next time she does it, I will show you the better way of dealing with the bird, because I think the birds are the most problematic aspect of this fight. She's completely easy to perfect guard against and deal massive combo damage to. Another thing that can be hard is that okay, so she did it again, and here she goes again. Now I'm going to jump up and spam the circle button, and as I come down, I'm guarding against these hen-pecking birds here. And you want to grab them in the air so that you can do the aerial guard and land and be guarding. See? Land and be guarding. But it's not so risky when the birds are far away from her. This is risky. That's things like that. It's hard to know that that's coming because she does it very suddenly. And it pretty much kills you. I mean, if you're at full health, you'll be down to a sliver. So I think knowing how to deal with the birds is the key to this fight, because that's what always takes the most damage off me. So, like, you see what I'm doing? I'm not using magic. I am using Thera's Bane. I just don't think there's any reason to use magic here, because it has such little efficacy at level 1, the Eye of Atlantis. I mean, you'd have to use all of your magic just to kill the birds, so why don't you just grab them real quick instead? So when she does the Scourge attack, she doesn't fly up afterwards. It's just when she throws it at you instead of trying to pull you into it. And I mean, sometimes, like, I hope you guys saw the last video before I deleted it. I'm sorry about that, but I got a 500 hit combo on her, and she didn't do anything with the Scourge. It was just luck, and I was just running with it, and I felt really good that I hit her that many times. And here I'm alternating with triangle attack to deal more damage with her. Feel free to do, instead of doing square attacks, feel free to do like triangle, square attacks. That's fine. And then here we've got her down again, no checkpoint. And then she always flies up to the middle of the screen right away. So just jump up, spam the throw. You've got 2. And then with this one, see how the bird was over there? It's nice. Did she hit me? She might have hit me. Okay. I think that's why I'm so low on HP. But see, that's the worst part of the fight. So what could I have done there differently? All I could say is that the best thing, I should not have just never grabbed the birds on the ground unless she's on the other side of the screen, or on the other side of whatever quadrant. See how the arena is split in 2 here. So if you can manage the birds, you can manage her. She's very, very easy. Because she doesn't learn, she just keeps coming at you. And I did this within a couple, like 2 tries. Because I've done it so many times practicing on those birds. So one mistake here, I'm dead. One failed. I mean, you can block these attacks, but I don't want anything to ruin the rhythm of what I'm doing here. I don't want her to throw anything or go up into the air because I'm so low on HP. So at this point, you've just got to be secure, confident, and not make a single mistake. And she should be going down. And then the next video will start right after we do the sequences, trying to chase after her in the sky. So an imperfect fight, it wasn't done no damage, but it was such that I was able to show you guys everything, and fortunately I have the Piraeus Lion in just such a a manner up ahead where I did take one hit, but seriously, that's all you can take on that fight. 2 and you're dead. But damn, my teeth feel so nice now. They just feel really good. I learned my lesson about shirking the dentist out of fear. Okay, so you're gonna get a check. Well, you already have had a checkpoint. There's multiple checkpoints over here. And I avoided the mistake that I did last time of when I had the blurred section with her breasts visible on the screen. I had the volume up, so this time I kept it down for you. Sorry about that last time. Okay, so remember here, just hold the X button down. And what I do when I get close, because sometimes the O button will fade off the screen quickly, I hover my thumb over the O button whilst pressing the X button, and then I spam press it when I see, or not even when I see it, but when I suspect that I'm close enough to her that it'll come. So you might even see me latch onto her without the O button coming up because I pressed it so quickly. See, it didn't even come up. If you rewind that, you did not see the O button come up. I was just looking at the bottom right of the screen. It didn't come up because I was spam pressing the O button. And then once you get down, when you touch down in the forest, she will throw the scourge at you. And I think the best way, the simplest way, is just to do the combat roll over to her really quickly. You'll get over to her before she can even throw it. I think you can block it, but it breaks your poise. But just do this, see? Very quick. She can't even throw it at you. And then the next video will start right down here. So I want to thank everybody for watching and take care. And I will see you in the next installment. Thank you.